It's a late one. I had a big day. I'm here tonight to talk about Dadeland Condos and what's happened in that market. But it's late. I had an amazing open house today, and then I had a twilight photo shoot this afternoon, and then I had to be a mom and cook dinner and clean the kitchen, and I'm a little bit exhausted, but I've promised a daily market update, so here I am, here to talk about Dadeland Condos. Dadeland didn't even have condos really until like 2006. They started building condos by Dadeland. And we've seen a crazy amount of growth since then. There's so many cool places to live right by Dadeland. There's also apartment buildings. There's old buildings, but largely there's a lot of new buildings. So here's my quick Dadeland update. Here's what, before I launch into my update. Dadeland's an awesome place for investors. I have investors coming out of the woodwork right now asking me to help them buy investment property. Dadeland is a solid place to buy investment property. So prices are still very reasonable. Rents are high. HOA fees aren't insane. Some buildings are high, some aren't, but it's a great place to own an investment property. So when you're hearing these numbers, keep that in mind. Here we go. There's 25 properties on the market right now in downtown Dadeland area. So I'm talking from the Palmetto to US 1, just north and just south of Dadeland. I kept it to a tight market because if we spread out further and we get into what's it called? King's Court? No. King's Creek? It just gets complicated. So I kept it tight. Okay. 25 units are on the market right now, ranging in price from a high of $885,000 for a 3-bedroom at Toscano, all the way down to $180,000 for a 2-2 at the Village at Dadeland. There's 19 pending, so that's a lot. Like, we have 25 on the market and we have 19 that are pending. That's a lot of pendings. For the pendings, the highest priced unit that's pending is for $550,000 at downtown Dadeland. And the lowest unit that's pending is listed for $157,000 at the Village at Dadeland. You're going to notice I talk about the Village at Dadeland a lot. They've had a lot of turnover this year. And then there's been 124 condo sales in downtown Dadeland this year. That's a lot. When you think about the fact that we only have 25 on the market and we've had 124 sell this year alone, that's a lot. The average selling price for all of those was $353,000. Keep in mind, the newer buildings sell for a lot more per square foot than the older buildings, like the Ledges and Villages at Dadeland. Those sell for a lower price. Toscano, Colonnade, downtown Dadeland, those sell for a much higher price per square foot. So we're just taking a broad average. Of the 124 that sold this year, there were 12 closings in September. So in some of our markets, we've seen a tremendous slowdown after June, but we're not really seeing that in Dadeland. The highest sale so far this year went for $680,000 at the Colonnade, a 3-3. And the lowest sale this year so far was $159,000 at Village at Dadeland. And then this is interesting. These are the buildings that have had the most sales this year. So Metropolis, 31 sales in that building this year, ranging from $230,000 up to $530,000. Can you tell I'm tired? Blah. 26 sales in downtown Dadeland, ranging from $245,000 up to $585,000. Toscano, 25 sales. Colonnade, 12 sales. All 4 of those newer construction buildings. And then Village at Dadeland has had 9 sales this year. Here's the thing about Village at Dadeland. That is primarily made up of investors. You can't get a loan in there without a significant down payment, I think because there's litigation against the association right now. So, but investors love Village at Dadeland. And then the Ledges has had 6 sales, ranging from 185K up to 330K. Now, 124 sales this year. Last year, there were 218 sales. So we're definitely down. We will not hit the same numbers we hit last year. But the year before that, there were only 103 sales. So we already have more sales this year than we had in all of 2020. So that's interesting. Not seeing that in other markets. Last year, the record sale was in Toscano. A unit sold for 850K. And the lowest sale last year was Village at Dadeland for 129K. But the average price last year was 279K compared to this year where we're at 353K. Anyway, lots of interesting things happening at downtown Dadeland. There's no development that I'm aware of happening there right now. It's all resales. But it's such a good place for investors. So if you've been thinking about investing, let's have a conversation. You might just like to buy there. Give me a call. I'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow and Friday, we're talking about the rental market. It's going to be really interesting. So tomorrow we're going to talk about rental homes. Friday, we're going to talk about rental condos. Tune in. My last 2 market updates before I say bye-bye and take off for a while until I have something else interesting to tell you. Have a great night. I'll see you tomorrow.